What's going on? This is Dr. Ben with another pre-Chiro conversation. Today we have a student on the line from Parker University out in Dallas, Texas. DJ Reyes, thank you so much for taking some time. Can you just introduce yourself, share a little of what your background was before chiropractic school and what attracted you to this path?
Okay. Hello. Thank you so much for having me on, first and foremost. I really appreciate it. So, my name's DJ Reyes. Real name's David, but DJ is just a lot easier. And I'm from Eastern Pennsylvania, so that's pretty sweet, all the way here down in Texas. So, my undergrad was in exercise science, and I just got so attracted to chiropractic just because of sports. And over time, with sports injuries, I had a buddy actually tell me about going to go see a chiropractor. I've never heard of it before, so I said, okay, well, what's the worst thing I can do? And I went, and after like my first time, it changed my life. I know so many people use that as like the cliche thing, but man, I don't know what to tell you. That's just the truth. And um, from that very moment, I just got really attracted to it. Really wanted to know more about it. But it wasn't until maybe like the summer going into my senior year of college that I said, oh, this is what I have to do. And long and behold, yeah, it's definitely what I have to do. I love it so far.
And so you're a student not that far into the program. How would life be different today if you would have started studying chiropractic your freshman year of college compared to your senior year of college?
So, man, what a good question. I definitely would have been a lot deeper into the philosophy, art, and science of it all. Um, I might have been mm, maybe a little bit better prepared for some of my courses, but I feel as if everything has the right timing. So I can't really say. I feel like what's going on right now is definitely the best timing for me, and it's going really well so far.
Okay, awesome. What's going well about it? What are you attracted to? What are you enjoying about being a chiropractic student?
Mm. I'm enjoying learning how to read people. I'm enjoying understanding what the body needs and what the body doesn't need. I'm enjoying the science of it all. I'm kind of a geek, which I'm not ashamed about, but I really like learning um, what's going on our cellular level, which then will go on to the tissue level and so on and so forth. So I think that's really interesting. And actually, this is the first trimester where we're in a gross anatomy lab. We're doing cadaver dissections. And that's it's pretty interesting. It's a little hard at first, but all of it is, I think, so important to our education and knowing to be the best with the body.
Hmm. Can you get into some specifics of the sciences that you're studying, what you've been
Mhm.
really going deeper into?
Right now, I'm really a big fan of physiology. Again, that like exercise science was my undergrad, so um, physiology to me is just a lot it's a lot of information that makes sense about how basically the metabolic pathways of our bodies. And I find that interesting because we can discuss with future patients if we wanted to how nutrition is so important to your health. It's not just about, well, if you work out and drink a little bit of water. Well, don't just work out and just drink a little bit of water and eat some crap. Why don't you just eat a lot better? Get whole food sources. If you need to supplement, then supplement with certain things or stuff like that. Other courses I really like um, is the biomechanics of the body, learning vectors and how to properly palpate the body, and if you're going to induce a force, the right angle to induce the force and not cause any trauma. I think that's pretty interesting.
Most definitely. Is there anything you think you could have studied before you got to chiropractic school in your pre-chiro years? And if so, what do you think you would have really keyed in on or prepared yourself for that would allow you
Mm.
to go deeper right now?
Definitely another good question. As far as like basic science goes, I'm gonna say no. My undergrad really prepared me really well. I was forced to take chemistry. Um, I needed to do some biology, and then they included a couple. Like I took two different semesters of advanced biomechanics. So in terms of that, no. maybe definitely getting more into the philosophy side of things, and not even just like the green books, maybe just understanding the innate universe, innate intelligence, and how that all coincides with chiropractic. And yeah, but no, besides that, I really don't think so. I don't know because I never had anybody above me in my life that went to chiropractic school. So I had to figure it out all on my own. So I think as of right now, if I were to tell myself again, I would definitely tell myself to read a little bit more books and definitely hone in on more anatomy. Yeah, there we go. That's if anything, hone in more on anatomy.
Hmm. What about, I don't know how many offices you've been in, but obviously there's application of chiropractic philosophy in
Mhm.
clinical practice, in connecting with people, bringing them into the world of chiropractic, and the way that we see the world is different than others.
Yep.
So, did you have any moments not related to not necessarily chiropractic specific, but related to the practice of being someone who, represents themselves, has to communicate to others, maybe something that you are passionate about that they might not be, such as, I don't know, if you were part of a club in college, or if you were part of a group of people, maybe a sports team, and you needed to communicate about what it was that you were up to, and
Mm.
really share with others that might not have been familiar with you. Did you have any
Yep.
experiences like that?
Oh, plenty, plenty. So I actually have two. So in undergrad, I was a part of my major was called exercise science, right? So we had a club on campus called the Exercise Science Club, and the last year, I was the treasurer for it, and I really enjoyed that role. And we held two different um, fundraising events, and we called them powerlifting meets, which was really sweet. So there's a local gym back where I'm from, and they had enough space for a facility, so we would get local lifters and students on campus, and anybody that really wanted to come, and they do a powerlifting meet, so they would do a deadlift and a bench. It was just really sweet. The first time we did it, we raised like I want to say 8 grand, and part of that money went to a cancer foundation. And then the last year that I was there before I graduated, we raised about another six, and most of the money um, went to this one family. I'm trying to remember there was a disease that the child had. I don't exactly remember, so I'm not
Okay.
going to get too
Okay.
specific. But then besides that, so most of my buddies down here at Parker know that like I cut hair, but I have my license to cut hair as a barber from back in Pennsylvania. So what I would do was there's my one job we would in the summertime it would be maybe like 1 or 2 weekends every month, and we would go to a homeless shelter. It was called Safe Harbor in Easton, Pennsylvania, and we would just and not even about getting notoriety about it. Like it wouldn't be something we'd post. It would be more like, hey, these are people that are unfortunate. Like let's take care of them and let them have an opportunity to kind of know that we care about them as well. My one boss, his name is Ronald, was really big into community. He said and the easier it is for your community to know you, the easier it is for them to take care of you. I said, ooh.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for a pre-Cairo student to recognize that they need to get involved extracurricularly,
Mm-hmm.
and put themselves into something that's going to challenge them. So, did you include that in your admissions essay to chiropractic school, like your experience being involved with the exercise science club, or what was your story, and like how did you kind of contextualize what prepared you for
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic school?
So for me getting into Parker, I used the fact that growing up, I was a pretty obese kid. My senior year of high school, I was over 300 pounds. And I just used the story of me losing weight and finding out what chiropractic can do for me and what more I can get out of it. Um, and I used that story in my little essay, and I ran with it. But it's true. It's all true. I love that experience, and I think it was something so beautiful. And then what was the other part of your question? I'm sorry.
No, just, what was your why for, why I want to be a chiropractor when
Mm.
you applied for chiropractic school?
My why, it's funny. I didn't really understand my why until like maybe the end of my last trimester. But at the time before, my why was I wanted to make a change in the community, and I didn't want to prescribe medication. Growing up, I've seen so many people been addicted to opiates, and it's not fun. Definitely not fun. And unfortunately, I had a buddy of mine overdose during our Christmas time, and that was pretty hard, And so like I knew that if I could work with my hands, which I already was, I could really make a change. And I just got called to it. So whatever I felt, I went with.
And how's it shifted? You said it changed a little bit after your first trimester. Where's it at today?
Oh man, my why today is that I want to be that sacred mirror to, as of right now, Dallas. I love this area. It's definitely growing on me, and I want to be that sacred mirror to say that if I can be clear and concise within myself and I know what's going on in here, I can be clear and concise with somebody who lays on my table. It doesn't matter whether we're discussing chiropractic or I'm practicing it with them or not. I want to be able to say that, hey, I am a pillar of this community. I'm a good example. Um, and I want to be able to leave an impact. I think that's the most important thing. It's not about, for me, it's not about the money. It's not about, um, what I can get out of chiropractic anymore. It's what can I do for chiropractic now?
hmm How do you envisioning that? I'm sure you're sitting with some meditation these days. You're
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
reflecting on just kind of the training that you're going through. How
Mhm.
are things evolving for you?
Things are evolving in a good manner. I don't want to say too fast, and I definitely don't want to say too slow. I feel like right now is a really good pace. Um, I just feel when as maybe by the time I'm closer to clinic, I'll have a better and clearer vision. It's just I'm gonna be realistic. It's definitely early on, and there's so many different avenues and things that I still want to explore. So I don't have a definite as of right now. I just think that I feel like this first, maybe until trimester 4, I want to be like that sponge, right? Get as much as I can out of it, look at everything, read everything, and then kind of definitely get more concise about where the vision's gonna go. But my dream would definitely be open up my own practice and include to have it be a very principled type of office. But I'm still in a mindset where I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete first, no matter what, and I know that my spine needs just as much love as my muscles do, and vice versa. So maybe figure out something down the road with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned that it's going to take you 4 trimesters to
Mm,
explore everything that's out there and soak it up like a sponge. My premise of pre-Chiro is you could spend 4 years and your schedule will fill up. You could reflect back on your undergraduate years and say, I wouldn't have had any time to really go further into other things. But
mhm.
if there was structure there and there was like a layout that you could efficiently explore the profession, I think that needs to be done before school so
Yeah,
that
I
you could
agree.
you know what I mean? So you could be where you're at right now, having already gone through and explored a lot of the different things and come to the clarity in yourself of what most resonates and aligns with you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think one of the smartest things, I can't believe I even forgot this, was YouTube. YouTube was my greatest asset. I would watch everything from mechanistic type of practice to super vitalistic in terms of spinal networking and everything in between, right? And I
hmm
think maybe to anybody that's looking to say, what do I want to get out of chiropractic, or what do I want to do with it? I'm not even sure about it. Start there. You know what I mean?
hmm
Start there. Just watch a couple videos, see some people talk. And BJ Palmer didn't die too long ago. There's still, you can find talks with him or Mr. Sigafus, stuff like that. I think that's definitely the best way because I don't know how many people are really truly reading these days, but a video is super easy. You can sit down, digest it, something in 10 minutes and go on with your day. Or
Most definitely.
podcasts. Podcasts
Or
are really, really great.
Yeah, here we are. I mean, there was a lot that people could have taken from what you just talked about, of like the things that were impactful on your consciousness when you were an
Mm.
undergraduate student being involved in exercise science club. Was there any activities that you facilitated as like a leadership role in that club where you would host a meeting or you would send out invitations or you would
Mm.
organize anything beyond those fundraisers?
Beyond those fundraisers, no, wasn't, it was literally, I would either organize that fundraiser or go off around campus, and it would be again for the fundraiser, trying to get students to sign up, people in the community to sign up, stuff like that. Um, excuse me.
That.
But other things that I was able to do that was outside of my club,
Hmm.
our campus always did a Special Olympics. So as often as I could, I would volunteer for that, just for the hell of it, and it was just really really great. I was able to meet a lot of great people, and that definitely changed my perspective too. So I would tell anybody, get outside of your comfort zone, even if it's 10%. Try, see somebody else's point of view of life, because it'll help advance your own point of view in life.
Hmm. Great, great wisdom, most definitely. Right before we got on, you talked about the better you can be a listener,
Hmm.
the more you can go deeper with somebody. Can you expand on that? What did you mean when you said that to me right before we got on this podcast?
Oh, okay. Easily. So when I'm listening to you, not only is it an auditory response, not only am I paying attention to what you say, but I'm looking at your face mannerisms, right? Or if I'm going through to palpate and just to understand what your body's going through, just to pay attention. It's called being very tonal. And I'm really enjoying learning how to go through this process, learning what it entails. And I feel like the easier and more clarity I have within myself, I can be clear to listen to what your body needs, what your needs are. Like we always have this thing talking about, like, what are your needs? And it took me a while to realize it's not a financial thing. It's what do you mentally, spiritually, and physically like actually need? And so yeah, I can now be in a place where if I'm intent and I can look at you, I may not know what you're thinking, but I know the intentions. I may not know what you're going to say, but I can have a general gist of where it could go, or if you're going to receive something. And whether it's good or bad, it's a good
Hmm.
place to be, because it will allow me later on, when I take care of people, and to those of you listening, when you take care of the people, you get to that aspect of being very tonal and listening very, very well. It will help transcend your practice tremendously, because you're going to have people say, wow, I've never been cared for that much. I've never been listened to that much. And you're just going to say, look, it's part of me. It's part of who I am. And that's good. That's something to help differentiate you from just a backcracker down the street.
Hmm. If you were to put up a bulletin board in the exercise science area of your college campus and it was
Mm.
promoting chiropractic and it said like ever consider becoming a chiropractor, what are some of the languages that you would use to communicate to students that are going through that program, that are in that kind of mindset? Because I think it's really important that we provide a presence for chiropractic. And I
Mm.
remember looking up at my bulletin board in my kinesiology department and never seeing a flyer that mentioned chiropractic on it.
Mm. I'm glad you mentioned that. So with our bulletin board, we had weekly updates, and it's great that you say that, because my club did a really good job at having different healthcare professionals come and speak. So we've had chiropractors come and talk, we've had PTs, we've had OAs, and you name it, like most of anything that we can go into postgraduate school. So it was just really great. But if I was going to make a specific post about it, I would tell students, hey, here's an avenue to healthcare where you're allowed to make your own schedule. If you want to be a business owner, go here. If you want to have an avenue to not only take care of just athletes, if you're interested in prenatals, if you're interested in elderly population, or if you just want to work with any and everyone, here's this type of practice. This is what you can really do with it. And Be upfront. You're going to work with your hands. If you want to add modalities, you can add modalities. Is it necessarily chiropractic? No, but in your scope of practice, you're allowed to do it. Um, if you want to have something where you just feel a sense of freedom, I think that's the easiest way I can go about it. It's just because once you graduate and you become a chiropractor, the world is really yours. You want to associate, go associate. If you want to open up your own practice, open up your own practice. But it's literally there for you, and the opportunities are there for you. As long as you water it, it'll flourish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, simple, concise, speak to their heart, what's important to them. Like
Mm-hmm.
you talked about, what are our needs? I think that we all do need a purpose. I think the people on this planet right now that have a purpose are not struggling as much as those that are lacking purpose, because
Mm-hmm.
we don't allow those external circumstances to really dictate what we make of our day, of our week, of our month, of our year. So most chiropractors are carrying on with the mission of chiropractic, regardless of the consciousness of their community. They're trying to speak louder and show up more. I mean, we need chiropractic more than ever now, because there isn't any healthcare providers that are stepping up and promoting health, promoting trust in the body, really trying to encourage people to go within, to seek answers within, and not to, like you just said, eat like crap, don't get any sleep, don't get adjusted, and then just get a
Mm-hmm.
vaccine, or just pray that they won't die from this foreign entity. And
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic's coming from a completely different angle, and it's very empowering. We don't allow that fear to creep into our psyche and dictate the way that we live our life. And so,
Very true. Very true. And it's health is a whole embodiment of your mind, your body, your spirit. It's a whole trifecta, what I like to call it.
hmm,
You
any
know,
final messages to that younger version of yourself in high school, maybe even, of like, which path to take in college, if you wanted to go and become a chiropractor one day?
hmm.
Or not even in college, but just in life? Like, should they take some time off before college and get some life experience?
Ooh, okay. So right now, there's a couple of people in my cohort that are in their 20s, and honestly, hats off to them because by the time they're 23, man, what they'll be well set off. So look, if you're ambitious and you want to get it done and over with, get your 90 credits, get to your school of choice, get your bachelor's there and your doctorate there, and be set. Don't don't have this preconception that, oh my gosh, I leave undergrad early to go do a doctorate program. Now what? Don't worry, your school will take care of you. If you want to still get your bachelor's, you still can. Don't worry about it. And definitely shadow. There's been a lot of people that I've talked to in my cohort, or maybe one or two above, that said, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but shadowing gave me the clearest answer. And I think that's the best thing. Even me, I wish I could have done that. It will definitely give you some direction if you're feeling a little lost. And from there, ask them any and all questions, and if they're really there for you, they'll say, hey, look, like, go, when you go to this school, get involved in these things. My chiropractor back home, his name is Dr. Ryan Brennan. He was a graduate from the Fountain, right? Fountainhead. And he told me when I was going to Parker, he was super thrilled. He was super stoked. And he just started giving me all these books that I started reading, and just gave me certain ideas. He told me what clubs I should try to check out if the school offers it, and just how to get involved. And it's definitely helped me out so much. So if you're wondering about it, ask your local chiropractor, go see two or three of them, get adjusted, and have a fun time while doing it. Make a little bit of time, even if it's a one day on a weekend type of deal. Try it. You have the time for it.
No doubt. When did you go to chiropractic school? You said that there's some people in their early 20s. Did you take some time after undergrad, or did you have some gaps in between high school and undergrad?
I
Since
had a gap in undergrad. I was my first year. I did at a different university than where I graduated from, and I took about 18 months off because my mom has been like battling cancer since I was like 13. So at that time, it was pretty bad, and I decided to go home. I decided that I can take some time off because my sister just graduated college. She was working her dream job, and I wasn't gonna tell her to like quit just to come take care of her mom. So I decided to go home. That's when I became a barber, and then I graduated. By the time I was 24, I'll be 25 here in April. So I took a little bit of time off, but honestly, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Hmm. Your boy Paul Aggie said, "Hey, go talk that talk, bro. Proud of you."
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you.
Is he in school with you, or is that just somebody you know?
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's a try 4.5. He's very proud of it. He'll ride it to the day he dies.
How would you describe his support of you in this process? How have you worked with him as a student?
Okay.
What is that camaraderie like of chiropractic students?
Oh man, it's amazing. Paul's from the East Coast, just like me, so man, we understand each other, and it's crazy because um, our relationship as friends has just grown stronger and stronger. And he's going through a crazy process right now in his own life and his journey, but I'm super proud of him, and he's been nothing but a good support for me. He's opened my mind to so much more in terms of internalizing my meditation. How do I want to be intentional to start my day? And how will this later help me on in terms of studies, practice, and all of that? But like, oh, he's great. I'm super happy that I have him in my corner. I don't know what I'd do without him.
That's major. I mean, I think that just touching on the culture of chiropractic students being in support of one another as
Mhm.
opposed to in competition with one another, and how we need to maintain that connection, not only through chiropractic school, but into our communities and support one another. Uh,
Absolutely.
it's a very important point to touch on. So, thank you for tuning in, Paul. Appreciate you, and just allowing for just, yeah, a little bit of reflection on chiropractic student camaraderie and culture right there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you do. Is there any questions that you have of like me having been in practice for 8, 9 years
Hmm.
now? Like, what
I
are some burning questions you're working with these days?
I guess the one thing that, as I love philosophy, I love all that stuff. I want to be the best chiropractor I can be, but how do you get over this monumental like debt gap? Like how do you work through this? Because that's something that I'm considering right now. I have a significant other in my life. Definitely want to do the whole engaged, married thing, like eventually buy a house and stuff. So it's like, as great as it is to be well versed in everything else, I want to be able to find a way how I can pay off my debt and not have my debt own me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's a psyche, it's a mindset.
Hmm.
You won't know what it feels like to have that debt hanging over you till you get out into practice and you see how it's showing up in your mindset.
Hmm.
I would say that some of the things that I set up for myself was I started a nonprofit. So, me and my lady, we work for our own nonprofit,
Hmm.
going to those types of shelters and offering discounted care to people who can't afford chiropractic.
Hmm.
And so the PSLF program is still kind of beta. Not too many people have had success with it, but theoretically, after paying 10 years of on time income based repayment, you're forgiven on your loans. And so we're about 6, 7 years into it. And in total, if all goes well, like I said, it's still to be seen whether that's going to be a program that really does what it says it's supposed to do. But we'll pay
Hmm.
like 60 to 70,000 for our education
Hmm.
and be forgiven on the rest.
Is
Another
that because
thing,
of the nonprofit?
yes, because
Okay.
you have to work for a nonprofit for 30 hours a week, which is considered full time for 10 years, and make on time payments for income based. So if I would have had that nonprofit right out the gates, because I was paying $0 for quite a while, those $0 payments actually count towards those 120 payments that are needed to be considered, you know, that you paid your dues for the public service loan forgiveness. Another piece is leveraging the student loan money to invest in yourself through a certain asset class of life insurance that allows you to put your money in and then take it right back out. Use it as an intermediary account where, say, you're investing that student loan money, which, like you just mentioned, might be 100, $200,000. That's going into your life insurance, which is building a legacy fund, which,
Hmm.
as an entrepreneur, having that peace of mind that if something were to happen to you, that your family would be taken care of to the fullest extent.
Hmm.
So, asking a cash flow banking specialist what your total life value is and getting a policy that has a very low premium payment but a very high cash value percentage, and
Mm-hmm.
then taking your student loan money, putting it into that type of an account, and
Mm-hmm.
then pulling it right back out of that account to live your life, pay your bills, buy seminar, pay for seminars or buy equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of school, you will have accumulated quite a bit of money in your retirement account, because when you pull the money out, your money actually stays in that account. You just take a loan against your life insurance. And when you die, that loan that you took comes off your death benefit. So you get to still use that money while you're alive. It's not just for when you pass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like I said, a mindset. Once you get
Okay.
to the point where you have a couple $1 million that you're worth, even if it's in life insurance, you can go and practice freely. And yeah, you got to pay your bills and you got to do your thing, but chiropractic provides a great lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you're keeping it focused on chiropractic and people understand, that that power inside of them that helps them heal, that helps them reach a higher quality of life, never leaves, and that you just need to keep that channel open throughout their life, that you need to
Mm-hmm.
keep working with them on being the best version of themselves. Then you're going to have a tribe that you build of people that you enjoy seeing, that appreciate you, that love you, and that you're able to give and receive um, that loving vibration through the chiropractic care, but also through the money and support that they give to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that also comes in handy with the nonprofit. People want to give back, especially if they've experienced what you're offering and you're telling them that you're bringing it to people that are less fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the more you can stack the cards of caring less about that debt, because that debt's allowed you to do the things that you're doing today, the better off you're gonna feel about it. You're not gonna be tripping on debt. I mean, there's good debt and there's bad debt.
Mm-hmm.
Student loan debt is a good debt because you get to do what you get to do because of it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't trip, man. It's not a destructive habit or a destructive expense.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's a priority to you and you want to get debt free as soon as possible, then just prioritize that. It hasn't been a priority to me. My debt has gone up and up since I graduated. Not just because of student loan interest, but because when you invest in a house, now you have more debt.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you invest in a building or some equipment for your practice, you have more debt. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all good debt. You know, it's not it's not like I'm buying fancy cars or investing in liabilities, right? Like the whole rich dad, poor dad, invest in assets, shift your mindset from being an employee to a business owner or even an
Mm-hmm.
investor, so that the amount of money that you're spending not only grows over time, but it also comes back to you immediately, in forms of deductions or in forms of write offs or in forms of depreciation. Is deep. So that's like my little money piece for you, for just touching on a couple things. I have a video on the Pre-Cairo Instagram, which is a
Mm-hmm.
triangle on a notebook, and I describe how to use your student loans to do everything that I just described to you. I
Okay.
would say start a business as a student, run your expenses through the business, develop a track record so that you could build your credit score, and when you get out of school, you'll have access to more capital than you need to get started, and you'll be able to buy whatever equipment you need. You'll be able to pay for rent for the first year when you're just getting going. You'll be able to invest in whatever you want to invest in and practice the way you want to practice, and that's all
Mm-hmm.
that a chiropractic graduate needs to flourish.
Okay, well, thank you. I really appreciate that, and definitely, I'll have a lot more questions for you. So it'll be something that I'll be chatting with you about quite a bit. But I really appreciate that because the sooner I can, the sooner I can learn how to do all this stuff. Because I didn't have a lot of financial literacy growing up, so this is why I'm asking. I want to be as proficient as I can.
Oh, you said you had a lot of financial literacy?
I
I
did
did not
not.
have a lot.
I did
Yeah, yeah,
not.
me neither. Me neither. I just learned all this stuff along the way on my own. And some of the YouTube channels that I touch on that video, like
Mm,
Denzel Napoleon Rodriguez, 26, 27-year-old financial geek, he'll walk you through like how to manage your money effectively. And
mm,
he's entertaining while he does it. He runs scenarios. He really puts you in his shoes and shows you how he thinks. And you can, with YouTube these days, you can speed the words up. So
mm,
like even this discussion we're having right now, if I was an undergraduate student, I'd be saying, hey, listen to us at 1.5. you can
Yeah.
still catch the vibe. You can still hear what we're about, what we're talking about. And my whole goal is to help people move as efficiently through the science, art, philosophy, business, communication,
Mm-hmm.
politics, creativity in chiropractic, so that they can show up on day one of chiropractic school feeling like super juiced, that they've gone through so much already in
Yeah.
chiropractic, and now it's time to, like, step into that professional level of training that
Mm-hmm.
that they started in undergrad. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I appreciate your energy, your time, man,
Thank you.
and I hope you have a beautiful day. It's only 5:30 in the morning over here, but you see, like, I live this. I like this
Yeah.
type of way of just opening up the dialogue for people that are out there. It's crucial.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you again for your time, and thank you for some of the wisdom. I really appreciate it.